Lesson 19 is the final step in our web page journey because we're learning how to create links. So we're learning how to actually connect two of our own pages together in order to make a fully functioning website. So if you take a look at the model that's on the screen, you'll see across the top of the screen there in blue, there's a whole bunch of links. And of course, you've seen that before because you've been to other web pages that have it. Even just going on to Google Classroom, you've seen it before. So the question is, how do we create that? How do we create that functionality here? So as we can see, when I click on each one of those, it takes me to a different one of my pages here that's over here in the File Manager. So if we turn on the inspector, as you can see there, a couple different pieces there. We see the first one beginning at line 9, and they're down a few lines there. To create a link, we start with href, H-R-E-F, hyperreference. And then in quotation marks is the name of the file that you want to link to. And notice this one does have a closing tag, so after the text you want linked, you'll use /A. And that's the format they've used for all of these. So this one that's in the beginning can also be the link to something external. So that full HTTP address of something that's on the internet as well. And so that's what we're going to be looking at here. So one of the things that's of note here is that this navigation is across all of the pages here. So it's the same one here as it is here, as it is here, and as it is on this page as well. You're going to hear me refer to that as common nav quite a bit. You want to think about building that common nav first in building your website projects that you're about to undertake here in a day or two. So be thinking about, how am I going to build this thing and create that first? Because the problem is, as you build your own web pages, if you start by building your pages and then say, I want to build the common nav, well, you're kind of doing it backwards, because then you're going to have to take that creation, make it last, and put it on everybody's page. It would be better off to start with that exact same template for everybody so you get a consistent look across all of your pages. Think about it. When you're on Google and you're looking at the search results on page 1 or page 2 or page 10, all those pages look exactly alike. They started off with one template and they apply it to everything. They didn't start off with a page and then create the template. So start with the template and use it for everything, and then continue building from there. So this lesson is going to be all about how do we create those links and create that common nav. So as we take a look at Bubble 2, we've got a web page with some functioning links. Notice this page links to the Golden Gate Bridge and the London Tower Bridge and the Golden Bridge. And each one has a page here. They also have a picture, but we're linking specifically to the page, the HTML. So the directions up top here say we can click and see how they work. But more importantly, we're going to add code that links from the index to the Charles Bridge page. So as you can see, when we click on each one of these, it takes us to a page. And then also inside that page, there's text there that says go back, that will take us back here to the index. So it's our objective to create that. So first thing I'm going to have to do is create some text to link. So I'm going to come down here to the bottom, underneath line 13, before line 14, because remember, my content has to be in the body. And I'm going to say Charles Bridge, which is great. But as you can see, first off, it didn't create a break. Remember, our code, we have to manually break it. It doesn't do it just simply by me pressing enter. So I'm going to go after that previous line that says Golden Bridge and add a break, BR. Okay, so that fixed that issue, but now I need to link that text. So I want that text that says Charles Bridge to actually become one of those blue hyperlinks. So in front, I'm going to type href equals, and then in quotation marks is going to go the name of the file that we want to link to. Notice it's giving me all the pages or all the items there that I have in my file manager as an option. It's charlesbridge.html. And then I'll close off my code there with a greater than. And as you can see from all the previous ones, this one also has a closing tag. So after the word bridge, where I want the text to end, or rather the link to end, I'm going to do less than /a greater than. And we should see that update reflect live on my web page. If not, hit refresh and save. But now as you can see, when I hit Charles Bridge, it takes me to that page, which is great. Now, here's the problem. There's no way for me to get back. So on all these other pages, like Golden Gate Bridge, there's this text here that says go back. And on this London Tower page, there's this button here that says go back. But on this Charles Bridge page, I don't have that. So they want me to add that. So now I'm going to do kind of the same thing I just did, but I'm on the Charles Bridge page. So the way these were formatted is that code was included after the text. So I'm going to go after the text, the paragraph, and on line 10, I'm going to add the words go to home. And that's great, but again, it's not linked because I have to write the code to actually link it. So in front of the words go to home, I'm going to do href equals, and then in quotation marks, I'm going to do Charles Bridge. No, I'm going to do index rather. Sorry, I got to go back to the home. Index is home. So I'm going to put index.html. And I'm going to close that with a greater than. And then after the word home, I'm going to do less than /a greater than. And again, hopefully it will auto update. If not, you might have to press refresh and save. But now I should be able to click go to home, and it should now take me back to my index. So both those links we created are now working. Charles Bridge link, I click it, it takes me to the Charles Bridge page. The go to home link, I can click it, it takes me back to the index. Okay, hit that orange finish button and let's go on to bubble 3. Okay, so this one is all about naming our links. So just like images and files, links should have clear names that help somebody understand what page they are linked to. So we're going to read the code or click on the links to see where they go and change the name of the links to make it clear where they will take you. So this is all about conventions and not so much the pure code here. So right here at the end of the roses paragraph that we start with here, it said the rose might be the most famous type of flower, and even Shakespeare wrote about it. Learn more. And as you can see, that's not bad. That would be something we might actually do. And when I click on it, it takes me to the roses page, and then there's a link back to home. So that's not anything too tragic. But then when we get here to this daisies page, as we can see, it says daisies aren't as famous as roses, but they are a pretty everyday flower. If you want to learn more about daisies, I have a page at daisy.html. Well, that doesn't exactly have the same flow as maybe Learn More did. It's definitely a little bit awkward. So what they want us to do is clean that up there. So the real objective here is for you to realize that what's in the middle here isn't really that relevant. All right, you can put anything you want there, but that's going to become that link. So instead of saying I have a page at daisy.html, maybe we say I have a page at my site where you can find out more. And again, it doesn't matter what you write there. That's the linked text. All right, the only thing that's actually going to truly change where it travels to is this thing right here. This thing that's after the href. All right, that's the only thing that truly messes up or changes, or however you want me to say it, all right, the actual physical code. This text in the middle is kind of irrelevant. Okay, so then we have this sunflower page. It says the last flower is the sunflower, which is also the only one on the list that creates yummy seeds to eat. I hope you like it too. And then notice it says, please click on my link to learn more about sunflowers because you will for sure not regret it. All right, well, let's not talk like we're Valley Girls. Let's take out the because you for sure will not regret it. And again, even though I changed that, that doesn't change the code. The linked text is still the stuff that's between that first greater than and second less than. All right, so whatever's in the middle there, you can change that all you want, but it doesn't impact the code.